on this very auspicious Navami day when we worship Mother Siddhidatri. It becomes even more auspicious and gets magnified because we are worshipping her in a Siddha Sankalpa Bhumi like Mudenhalli's Satyasai Grama. And till date, any sankalpa that we have made selflessly for Lokakshema, for Loka Sangraha, has never failed. It has only been achieved much more than what it was thought of with the grace of the divine. Today, Tejasvi ji has made a sankalpa too, selflessly, fearlessly. A sankalpa to transform this country through the Shakti that permeates this young golden generation. And I bless this resolve with all my heart that may it fructify, and within the next 25 years, may Bharat attain that which Tejasvi has resolved today. Yesterday we were talking about the blessings that we have received from Viveka Chudamani, as we discussed the three great blessings that we have received: Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshraya. All these things, three things have happened to us. It's not always that we get all the three together. Being born as humans, there are 8 billion people. We are one of them here. Mumukshutva. We come with so many desires to God. Arti, Artharti, Jignasu, Jnani, they all have their own ways to approach God. All are right. All are Sukrita. But we have tried to approach God with this one idea of Mumukshutva. And when we approach, we also need the guidance how to achieve that. It's not enough that a student joins the school, has the desire to learn. If there is no good teacher, his knowledge will not happen. And so also gaining the company of a realized one, of a master, is extremely crucial to attain the goal of life. In continuation of his discourse, Sri Adi Shankara says, after having attained a human birth, somehow, after several lifetimes, and then having attained the ability to know the scriptures, learn the scriptures, and after that also, if somebody is not willing to put efforts on this path, he is a mudhaji, he is a foolish fellow. Why? Because he is killing himself, he is committing suicide, a spiritual suicide, by not paying attention, not putting efforts on the spiritual path after having attained the three blessings. So the most crucial thing is to put efforts. Prayatno videyaha. Our scripture says, put efforts, strive, work. And that is what Tejasvi is saying. You are the makers of your destiny. Uddhared atman atmanam, atmanam avasadayet. Gita says, you are the makers of your destiny. You alone can redeem yourself, and you alone can be the cause of your downfall. It's up to us to choose to make our destiny as a divine destiny by self-efforts. And that is where Navaratri, that is where the presence of this energy, Shakti, as he mentioned, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, all these have to come together to enable us, even on the spiritual path, to attain moksha. It is not enough if we just achieve material progress. We must also achieve the spiritual heights that one is entitled to attain as one's birthright. So while we build a new India in the coming 25 years, definitely we are going to build it differently. A lot of countries have built themselves into developed nations. Their economic superpowers, military powers, they are the centers of trade and commerce. So much of prosperity, infrastructure, scientific advancement, name it, and they have everything. However, one thing that lacks, which does not make their progress wholesome, is the spirituality that India has got, which nowhere else we find. And so when we build the new India, we definitely build it as a power to reckon with. But more importantly, a spiritual power which not just grows and evolves, but it sustains itself for eternity. And that is the effort that we are putting in these institutions by educating children in both ways. What Mundakopanishad says, Dve vidye veditavye, itihasma yad brahmavido vadanti, parachaiva aparacha. The Paravidya, which is the knowledge of the self, and the Aparavidya, which is the knowledge of the material world. We must be good at both. People won't respect us if we are spiritually enlightened but we do not have material progress. And if we have only material progress without spiritual growth, it is not sustainable. It won't last. So to build an India that lasts forever, we must have efforts being put on both the sides, growing in material terms, economic prosperity, social justice, equitable opportunities to all without any discrimination or differentiation between one citizen or the other. At the same time, deeply, deeply rooted in the principles of Sanatana Dharma, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam, Yat Kinchat Jagatyam Jagat, treating everybody with spiritual respect, with the idea that the divine resides in all. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu. Nobody is excluded. Sarvabhuta means everybody is included, even animals, beings, everybody is included in Sarvabhuteshu. She alone, Chetane Ityavidhivite. Chetana, the consciousness, is her true nature, but she also manifests as Shakti. She also manifests as Buddhi. She also manifests as Kriya. She also manifests as Shuddha. So also Daya. So also Tushti. She is the manifestation of all that we experience in the outer world, but more importantly, she is that Chetana, she is that consciousness which resides within. And this is what we have been discussing for the last couple of days, the principle of Shiva Shakti, the consciousness and the energy that come together to create this whole universe. And when we worship during these 9 days leading all the way up to Dashara, we worship this idea that we are fundamentally divine. And from that point of view, we must think, speak, and act in this world. That should be our guiding thought. We have discussed how a Brahmagyani lives, the one who knows this truth, who is the best among the knowers of the truth. Again from the Upanishad. Atmarati, Atmakrida, Kriyavan. He revels in the self, he sees the self in all, yet he is super active for the welfare of all. As Sri Krishna says, Name partasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana na avaptavyam avaptavyam vartameva cha karmani. I do not have anything that I need to attain or that which I have not attained already in all the three worlds. I have no duty whatsoever, yet I act every day. For what? Yadyadacharati shrestha tattat deve tarojana. Because only when noble people conduct themselves in a rightful way in the society, they set examples for all the ordinary people to follow. So the need of the hour is to create exemplary citizens for this country. And exemplary citizens do not mean simply superbly intelligent or physically strong. More importantly, spiritually anchored. And that kind of citizenship is true Indianness. What Narasimha Murthy was saying, what is Bharatiyata, what is Bharatiyata? Yes, it is the intelligence, it is the Buddhi Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Medha Shakti. Yes, it is the ability to act, Kriya Shakti. It is also Ichcha Shakti to make sankalpas for the welfare of all. But more than anything else, it is that Chetana Shakti which is within us as the residence of that very consciousness which is embodied in the Divine Mother. So this thought, this sight of this vision we should never lose in the race to progress and evolve. We must remain spiritually anchored in our ancient Indian ethos and culture, which is divinity of all. If we lose that and achieve everything else, we haven't achieved anything, because many countries have achieved the same goal. They have been superbly materially progressive. They are very, very prosperous. They are mighty, yet they are not spiritually rooted. And that is one thing that I see when I travel around the world, that how they are so rich and so unhappy at the same time. How they are so powerful and so frustrated at the same time. How they are so prosperous, yet miserable at the same time. It is the opposites for somebody who sees it. But that is the reason for it only because of the spiritual anchoring is not there. And this is what India brings to the table. Bharat brings to this world a refreshing attitude, a totally different thought of progress. A progress which includes all, excludes none. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Everybody should be having access to healthcare, education, nutrition, all the basic needs of life. That is one way of looking at it. But with what spirit, with what attitude, that everybody is divine, so everybody deserves the same respect and the same treatment. Nobody should be discriminated. That kind of India is something that we dream of building. And this institution works towards that. And that is what is the vision of this place. And you are all the future visionaries, future missionaries of this great mission. And much depends on what you do with yourself in your lifetime. And that is where leaders who are young and dynamic, at the same time spiritually anchored, like Tejaswiji, who know that while we have to put up a brave front and fight and resist the evil and ensure that dharma prevails at the end with all our might, leaving no stone unturned, at the same time deep inside we must be mindful and aware of the spiritual oneness of all. And that is the idea of Mother Goddess. She slays the demons without thinking twice. If it has to be done, she does it. Yet she is the very embodiment of compassion. How is it possible in one time? But this is divinity. Opposites exist harmoniously within divinity. So that is the idea. We do what is required to establish dharma, yet deep inside we are very, very clear that we are doing out of concern for all, for greater good of all, and with respect for the divinity in all. And that is the kind of new India, that is the kind of new world order that we can bring in the coming days, the coming years. And I'm sure it is possible. It is time of India now. And what India was to the world long, long time ago, what he termed as Vishwaguru. A guru is the one who removes darkness and shows the path. India has to lead the way. Guru is not the one who just preaches from a pedestal. He walks the path. He shows the way and leads you all the way to the goal. India has the responsibility to lead the whole world on this path. And this is the best time. And as I always say, if it is not here, then where? If it is not us, then who? And if it is not now, then when? That is the time that India presents. That is the opportunity that India, this country, this time presents to us. And we all have to rise to the occasion without exception. And as he said, spirituality is for the bravest, it's not for the weak-minded. So also, this opportunity is for the bravest people, for the brave hearts, not the chicken-hearted ones. And so you have to raise yourself, uddhared atmanatmanam. You have to raise yourself, empower yourself, knowing that you are divine, knowing that divinity is your strength. And with that strength, you act in the world. We have been discussing very many spiritual concepts in the last couple of days. And tomorrow being Dashara, we may have a function in the evening. And I must tell you what I am doing tomorrow. And it is a new step in our mission. Vijayadashmi also is called Simo Langana. When you cross the borders and attempt to acquire newer lands, spread your strength. And that is what kings used to do. They used to finish worshipping the mother, gain all the power and energy and inspiration that they needed, and they fought the enemies and expanded their kingdoms, brought justice and harmony and peace and prosperity to faraway lands. And on Vijayadashmi Day, they used to do that. And so I said, what would mission do on a Vijayadashmi Day? What is that we need to do? And as I said, for me, everything is intuition based. Animals live by instincts, as I mentioned. Humans live by intelligence. But divine beings live only by intuition. They are inspired. And that inspiration tells us that we must make the next move, we must take the next big steps, and which is to do the Simol Langana. That does not mean I cross Karnataka and get into Andhra Pradesh or something. No. These boundaries don't matter to me. They are geography. But my boundaries are spiritual. And what are we trying to do tomorrow? Tomorrow is a ceremony. And I call that as, because we have Gurukulams running, and they have been run by great people who have sacrificed so much of their time, life, energy for the sake of the children, for the sake of building a better country through better human beings. Now it's time for them to hand over the charge to the next generation of youngsters. And that is the ceremony. That is the Simol Langana I am talking about. So while they'll continue to guide the institutions because of the wisdom that they have, the experience that they have, the understanding that they have, they'll continue to guide the mission. Yet on a daily basis, the work will be done by the youngsters. And these are the first batch of postgraduate boys and girls which have come out of our university, which was established a couple of years ago. And they are going to be the torchbearers of our mission in coming times. So tomorrow evening, when we gather here, we celebrate this Gurukulam Paramparantarana Utsava tomorrow evening. And we pass on the baton now to the next generation. I'm very, very happy and I'm very proud of my students. They are more than what I can ever expect them to be. They always deliver more than what is given to them. And some of these brightest boys and girls who are extremely capable, very skilled, very mature, very talented, at the same time so spiritually rooted, they are going to carry forward this mission from here onwards. And in all the campuses, wherever the chairpersons had crossed the age of 60, they are handing over the charge to the younger generation, and these boys and girls are in their 20s. And some people asked me, are you not taking a big risk at this juncture? You have built it so big, and now you want to hand it over to some inexperienced hands? Would it not cost you everything? I said no, because I trust each and every one of them. And I totally believe that they will do everything that they want. And today's function with Tejasvi's arrival and his inspiring thoughts to the younger generation, you are the makers of your destiny. And when you make your destiny, you make the destiny of the nation. That is the message that you must carry with you in your hearts. You are not weaklings. You are Amrutasya Putraha. You are the very children of immortality. Nay, you are the immortality. And therefore, there is nothing that you should fear. There is nothing that you should be worried about. With all your heart, with all your might, put your best foot forward. And if we can build this institution, I'm sure we can build a nation. And if we can build the nation, I'm sure we can build the world. And that is the kind of inspiration that I wanted you to have. And it is only so timely and appropriate that of all the leaders in the country today, somebody as young as him, is younger than me, who came here to talk about his journey, his understanding of what these festivals are, and how we as the next generation must take this baton from the older ones and build a better country for each one of us, for every one of us. And I want the elders to bless the youngsters with all their heart. You have done your part, and we are ever grateful for the sacrifices that you have made for the future of others. You have given your today for our tomorrow. And we will always be grateful and mindful of it. We will always be revering and adoring you for all that you have done and you will continue to do. At the same time, this is the time of transition and you must hand over the charge with all your heart to the young generation and bless them profusely that they can do much better than what you could do. And they build a better institution. My dream is to have one such institution in every district, not just of Karnataka, every district of the country, so that there is one center of inspiration for all other educational institutions where para and apara vidyas are taught without any conflict and contradiction, where children learn the deepest, oldest, ancient truths of the Vedas and Upanishads. At the same time, they are very intelligent and active in building a better society and country for all of us. On this day, Siddhadatri, she is the one who gives siddhis to us. The abilities are given by her, and when she blesses, whatever we decide, sankalpa we take, definitely fructifies, definitely happens. This is my complete faith and conviction in her blessings. And that happening in this very village, Siddha Sankalpa Bhumi, which I call it as, where whatever selfless thought we think of, it definitely happens. It definitely happens. Not even one incident I know of where a selfless prayer or a thought has not been fulfilled in the last whole decade of my being here. So I also urge you, take a moment and make a sankalpa on this very auspicious day. Let that sankalpa be selfless. Let that sankalpa be fearless. And that sankalpa will find its fulfillment very much in your lifetime. Let that blessing be upon all of us on this very auspicious day. Once again, I offer our collective gratitude to Tejaswi ji for coming over here and to his noble parents who are definitely blessed parents. I'm sure he is blessed son definitely, but they are also blessed parents because they have a son like him. And I look forward to many, many, many years of partnership and working together with Tejaswi ji to build a better Bharat with all of us.